seeing it all and experiencing it firsthand, it's a completely different experience when you actually see it in person versus you can watch 100 videos or see 100 YouTube videos, and then when you're actually there in person and you just see how many people are really involved in it, it's amazing. Yeah.
So yeah, you come in. This year was a little odd in the way that tobacco was grown, because we had a big storm. So you prepare the seedbed. The seedbed is like a 45-day process. The seedbed was prepared. Everything has to be perfectly timed. Seedbed is where everything starts. If you have a good seedbed, you can have a good crop, because it's just like raising children. If they grow up right, they're gonna do well. If they grow up twisted, they'll be twisted like a lot of you guys here. So anyway, the ices don't do anything for the seed, but when they start spreading, it allows you to see. So what's gonna happen in here? So more than one seed is gonna land in each one of these holes. So in a few days, about 7, 8, 9 days, you start seeing the little plants come out. And when that happens, you see them come out here, and they'll pick out with a little a prick, a little wire. They'll pick out the smallest ones and only leave the biggest one inside each tray, to the point that you only have one left inside each tray. The root system wraps around the soil. They look like strings. It's pretty cool. And you pull it out, so all the sand you see here comes out in a perfect cone. And then we'll see the transplanting, and we have this machine, which sadly you won't be able to see, but it's transplanters is this the revolver with a chute, and then they put the plant in. It goes all the way down, and it transplants. It's pretty cool the way it works. Very simple, but it's pretty cool the way it works.
So my name's Cassie Rogers. I own the cigar room in Lee Summit, Missouri. I've had my store for about 15 years. I got into the cigar business because my dad had originally owned the store, and fell in love with the business, fell in love with the industry, fell in love with the people, and that's kind of it.
Hombre, no fregues.
Estoy encantado de aquí, me dijo. Creo que bueno lo que le gusta aquí. No, es que me gusta más aquí, dije, que aquí es más despejado todo, dije.
Y a las 10 de la noche todavía andamos vuelta por
Ah, con razón, sí.
The biggest limiting factor of any crop is the amount of barns you have, because one barn will only hold about an acre and a half of tobacco, so you have to stage it. Tobacco has to sit here for no less than 45 days. What was developed by the Cubans in 1990 is something called caprichas, or temperature control. So we have the temperature control systems here, and what that does is, because if you guys will notice, it was chilly last night, it's hot right now, so tobacco processes during the daytime, but when the temperature drops, tobacco stops processing. When you add and you change the environment, you control the environment, the tobacco gets to a point where now it's working. Instead of 45 days, you can actually get it out of here by probably about 38 days. So maybe you gain a week on the system, and you're able to do it more evenly. Now, like I said, normally we would be more advanced, but we had the rain this year. You would see tobacco already going into these barns. So tobacco will sit here for no less than 45 days. And what you're doing is they call it curing. You're getting all the chlorophyll and you're drying the tobacco. If we want a candela, the green wrapper, the stuff that we use for the yogurts, half of the yogurts, you would put these grills down here at 120 degrees, and what they do is they dry the leaf, but they seal the chlorophyll inside it. That's why stuff tastes so nasty. I remember candela cigars were really a Chicago, New York thing in the 70s.
Grassy, right?
Yeah, man, grassy, because it is grass.
Yeah,
It was exactly grass. But what happened with that ogre, something weird happened with that ogre with the Habana. They actually made a really good marriage. And the seed that's used for that candela, you can use any seed. The one that was most popular in the 70s is one called Moonlight seed, which is one of the varieties of Connecticut. And so my father still does it for us now. So we're making the ogres here. So we'll use some of his tobacco to do it. He loves doing it. The main thing is, this tobacco, right now is January 24. This tobacco is not going to be in a cigar until July 2025. Candela, January 24, it'll be in a cigar in February 2024. 48 hours, man, done. No cure, no nothing. It's done once you finish it. So this is what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to, so we have different experiments here and little experiments on the other side. So I want you guys to understand what wrapper does. So everybody grab a cigar and take the tissue off and cut the cap off. I'll teach you guys how to cut the cap so you guys can taste cigars. I just figured that out.
Eiroa cut.
All right, so normally, I'm gonna roll these cigars. Normally they look a lot nicer. These leaves are a little drier than they should be. So what you do is, this is a test we do here, because we want to see, let me get your cigar, please. not the tastiest thing you guys are ever gonna taste, but it gives you an idea of what the tobacco's gonna taste like when it develops. We want to see also how it's burning. You want to see the color of the ash. It should be giving you an edge. Normally these wraps are a lot prettier, man. Tobacco's a little dry. It's working. If you squish it, you feel all the goo on it, and we call it the fat. There's no really measure. I'm sure it has a scientific name.
Why do you
That's
do
right.
research?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying so you guys can feel. So when the fermentation process starts, that's what we want to keep. So sometimes you see these wrappers are just beautiful, they're oily. It's just the amount of fermentation you gave them. And you can ferment the oil out of it entirely.
Yeah, no, I'm just excited to be here. It's been an awesome, honestly, this has been such a cool experience. I don't think I took into, I wasn't expecting to really, not that you wouldn't interact with the other guests and the other retailers, but that's been a great part of meeting other people and talking shop, and yeah, just spending time and getting to know other people I probably wouldn't have met otherwise.
Oh, he herds the lamb too?
Yeah.
Those dogs are very effective. We were very effective. You just got to get them trained, you know?
No.
No?
Natural.
They're natural?
Yeah, natural.
Oh, wow.
I'll show a video now when this one came to life. Yeah, I brought this one down. It was 8-9 weeks. Brought him down. Saw a lamb. Started hurt. Could barely bark.
Oh, wow.
And now, as an adult, he does it by himself. No, he's done, man. It's scary because I saw the other one come out. I saw he was chasing that lamb.
Hang on, Spitzer.
I can watch that guy all day long. But the lamb come in, the lamb they'll eat, and because all the product is natural, their droppings are good for it also, but lamb don't like eating tobacco. They're really, really good. And they reproduce like crazy. I don't know, I think my father gives X amounts to workers at the end of the year. Because now when the season starts, we have Honduras traditionally used to have 6 months wet, 6 months dry. El Nino and then La Nina, the weather patterns have completely changed, shifted our patterns. So now you'll have dry 9 months of the year, so water is an issue. And then last year it was wet 8 or 9 months of the year. So we can't, there's no predictability anymore.
The tobacco fields, was it the lambs or the sheep that eat the weeds because they don't like tobacco plants? That I had never heard that before. So yeah, I was like, learn something new.
What they're doing is, notice how flat the soil is right there. And notice what he's doing. He's putting soil on the side because there are philia or hair on the stem where the tobacco plant also eats from, grabs their nutrients from. So you're looking at the root and you're looking here at the stem also. These hairy little things where they absorb nutrients from. So what you're doing also, you're bringing oxygen to the soil, onto the soil, because once the water, this water is already compacted. You press the water here, or the soil under the water is compacted, and you saw the root is not necessarily a strong root yet, it's just like little strings. So what you're doing there is you're bringing oxygen, you're turning the soil around, so now the root itself can breathe a little better and grab more nutrients. Of course, they have to be careful. You see that plant, for example, there's a small plant right there, it's not very big, so it's gonna get covered up, and they're always gonna be inspecting all the time. There's always something going on. If you look out down that way, you see there's a lot of activity, and we'll go ask them what they're doing now. I think it looks like they're fumigating. They're wearing the white outfits, so they're probably fumigating. All the products we use here are Bayer, and they're all green products. Green and blue, it makes things a little more expensive, but we developed the farm to a point that it has zero impact on the environment, and it's like if we never existed.
The jetway did not detach from our plane. First time that's ever happened. For me anyway, and so landed in Miami and had to literally run to get to the gate. First time I've ever had to actually do that. And then, yeah, arrived. Interesting drive, for sure, through the mountains. Interesting roads, streets. Yeah, it was a whole new experience.
Buenos días! Sorting. You saw seed beds, you saw the tobacco in the field. We didn't see priming, but you saw a leaf already dry. From that point, the tobacco gets brought from the field, it gets brought here, and it starts the fermentation process. So we're going to jump in stages. This is already after fermentation is almost done. You start the sorting process. At this point, This is Sumatra seed. So at this point, the tobacco already gave you pretty much the color that she's gonna give you. You know exactly what you're working with. You can smell the tobacco. You can already, you can feel free, man. Just go in there, take a few leaves and just stick your nose deep inside. You can already smell it. She has leaves here that she's pulling out. And she's gonna pull these out and she's determining whether it's wrap or binder. Filler, we already separated because we already knew the quality wasn't that good for filler. So this was gonna be, you got wrapper, half wrapper, and binder and half binder. This is gonna be a half wrapper. Actually, it's got some holes here, so it's gonna be binder completely. You know, so we'll go to a different stack. This is where I learned most of my tobacco. I would sit there for days and days and days when I moved here. I would do it twice a week. I loved it. It's the hardest part. It's the part I enjoy the most. Sumatra isn't a real full body tobacco. So if this were Corojo, one of the Habanos, man, the smell, just you can just smell all these creamy, and we'll see it right now, and you'll feel it right now and when doing the fermentation. You get all the different smells, and I get a lot of ideas. Yeah, I get my ideas for the blends in smelling the tobacco with this process and fermentation. And this is probably why I don't use that much Sumatra, because I've never really been, I don't get many smells from it. Doesn't mean it's good or it's bad, it's just my particular taste. You know, stuff I like working with. So, yeah, it doesn't really lift that much. We'll go look at some fermentation.
Well, I probably have smoked the most of the CLE Signature, which I liked before, but now I really like. 25th anniversary. And I like the CLE Connecticut in the morning, so I've smoked that in the morning.
Love. This is a Habano, and this tells you the whole story. And these are all second primings. You see here, Habano Sol, second priming, XL, half wrappers. That already came from that sorting room. It was sorted probably a couple weeks ago. And I'll give you the date here. This is bulk number 19, 184 pounds of this particular one. So this thing's probably a total of 2,000 pounds, this whole thing. This is from the 2023 crop, and lot 22. Go ahead, here you go. Stick your nose in there.
Get your big whip.
Now it's when the ammonia really comes out.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh. There you go.
Oh wow.
Again, there's second priming. The tobacco's not gonna be the thickest, but look at the color it gives you already. You see here, there's a little sheen still from the oil we saw in the barn that I told you guys to touch. This is the color. Now, I like the color a little more Colorado, but there's something, and there's something my dad would be all over this color. That's what he likes. He doesn't like the cigars to be too strong. This one already, you can smell it has a little body already. So to me, at the point of fermentation, this tobacco is ready for my taste. You guys still have those cigars? You have a cigar? I can wrap some cigars with this if you guys want to try it. My taste, if when you smoke those cigars, I'll start looking at them. If there's no border, there's no edge, this tobacco is ready. My taste. My father will probably still ferment a little more because he doesn't like this tobacco that strong. All right? And everybody has a different taste. If you talk to every other manufacturer, everybody will give you a different opinion. I mean, you make to Nick's place. I don't know what they teach you guys there, but he has his own system as well. And fermentation, there's tobacco has a bacteria, and it reacts to water. It changes the color to dark, and also gives off heat. The chemical process gives off heat. The heat evaporates the moisture. So you have to constantly keep adding moisture to the tobacco. So what's called flipping bulk, which whatever's on top goes to the bottom, whatever's on the outside goes on the inside. So you rotate everything, so you give it proper treatment. If the priming is a low priming, the tobacco is probably 2 months, 3 months, you're done. This is a second priming, so this one's not going to take very long. If it's a fourth or fifth priming, it might be 16, 17 months. It takes a very long time. The thicker the tobacco, the longer it's going to take for fermentation, and the more careful you have to be, because it's easy to just get tempted to let the temperature rise a lot more. Usually we go 104, 105 degrees. You know, I don't like going past 107, 108. On the Colorado, we keep it real low, 103, 104 degrees. Because the Colorado, I take second priming and third priming, the Eiroa Colorado, and I just want that Colorado color. I don't want to get too dark, and we control the moisture that we add to it as well. And there's no science, it's just the way we do it. So now you guys smell this tobacco already. It smells different than Sumatra. So this tobacco would inspire me a lot more to my taste, but maybe my father can smell it. He can pick up different scents and he can enjoy it differently than I would. You know. Yeah, you tell them exactly what you want. You pick some and tell them, listen, this bag, that bag, and they'll walk you through it. What it is that you like, and then just cut the little piece of paper and then you give it to them.
I still have to smoke mine. So I went to bed early last night. I was really tired. So it was cool. The whole process was really interesting. I think everybody loved it. So I'm excited to actually smoke what I chose.
And then they'll put the wrapper on. This is yours right here. Me, so I remember when I did mine, to be honest, I think I did. You can mix these. Yeah, anything down here in these dual colored bags is going to be your filler. Feel free to mix whatever you'd like. You know, obviously one wrapper, one binder, and then however many fillers you want. I recommend 2 to 3.
Of this?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, maybe a ligero or liseco, or maybe a couple ligeros, couple secos.
Oye, pues.
Vamos a dar un cachitacito, nada más.
I think seeing how it all comes together, honestly. So watching people roll the cigars was super interesting. The box part, I didn't expect how I don't want to say it was complicated, but how involved it was. Everything. It was great. It was a great experience. I will say what was interesting at the factory was I sell a lot of the Asylum Ogre. So watching them actually do the barber pole portion was, yeah, I filmed that to show, especially some of my customers, that's all they smoke, so they see exactly what happens. This is how your cigar is rolled. That was cool. So Michelle actually, and right when we walked in, it was one of the first rollers, and Michelle pulled me aside because she knows obviously that I order a lot of that cigar for me to watch it and film it. So yeah.
Retrohale every time you smoke. Blow the smoke out your nose. Okay, so when you're gonna walk into a room right now, only breathe in and out your mouth. Do not use your nose.
Unless you really want to put your sinuses
Until the very end. Because I want you guys to completely understand why, if you don't retrohale, you have never smoked a cigar in your whole life. You've never tasted a cigar. You've been pretty much eating bubble gum with a wrapper on, kind of a thing. So once you get this and you begin to understand it, you begin to understand how the flavors really develop and how important the ammonia is to the flavor of the cigar. So here we're going to have the barrels. My father designed these back in the 90s, because before, when the tobacco, you guys smelled those leaves I pulled out, right? And people like to air them out. Before, they were being aired out manually, causing a lot of damage, and it really wasn't a very good system. So my father developed this system, and he puts in these big barrels, and the barrels spin around. They spin around. When they spin around, the leaf, the hand, it's called the hand of tobacco, it opens up, and it airs out, and lets go of the ammonia gets trapped in the middle, all that out. My father shared it with a leaf of tobacco shared it with a bunch of other people. So now it has like, I know Jonathan Sands used to publish that he invented it. I think Nick Perdomo said that he invented it. I mean, the real origin is back in the 90s. It was a pretty good system. Smart, man, the way it works. I don't know if I agree with it 100%, because again, I like my tobacco a little more body, but for airing it out is good. It's a strong room. Only use your mouth, do not use your nose. At the very end, you can use your nose if you want. And then you feel, but I do want you guys to do it at the end, because I need you guys to understand why you have to blow the smoke out your nose to really enjoy a cigar. And why I even show you guys to cut the cigar, the palate up that way, okay?
Try to make sure, no? Oh my God.
So that's what you're missing out on. If you don't blow the smoke out your nose. So you see the process, right? Shit. These guys laugh. The problem is I got a dog in here. You guys pick on me all the time. But it's just the taste is here. And that's, and I wish I had the verbiage to describe what other people do with the nuts and nutmeg and all this crap. I can't do it, but anyway, it tastes good, it tastes bad, and it's what I enjoy.
Honestly, I don't think I don't know if I necessarily had any expectations. I was just excited to come and experience it and experience a different culture. So the reality is it's been awesome. It's been a great experience. Food has been amazing. I've probably eaten more in the last 2-3 days than I have in months. It's all been incredible. Yeah, the chef has been amazing. Yeah.
And sweet. So we'll put in this one is
The fillers.
what we're doing is these fillers. This is called frog stripping. You strip the vein. You know, we use we strip probably half to only 1/3 of the leaf. Other countries they'll do 2/3 of the leaf. Also, Dominican, I've seen that they do 2/3. I don't know if they do it anymore, but I've seen it before that way. And what they're getting tobacco at the regular moisture level here before they pack it. You know, they'll do a lot of this. They'll shake it. They'll separate each leaf so they don't stick to each other because they're going to sit in a bale. And you'll see the process now. The bale gets compressed with a hydraulic press, and the tobacco is going to sit there for. It could sit there for 2 weeks. You could sit there for 35, 40 years. I've used tobacco 50 years old before. There was when we bought Camacho back then. He had some tobacco from 1962 that sat there for 40 something years, and it was a pelo de oro from Escambray. It's a nice area in Cuba. Tobacco didn't taste like much, but it was tobacco nonetheless. So anyway, and you want to keep the room without any movement, no air. Notice how the smoke is not even moving right in front of you. Mm-hmm. It just sits still because you want to protect and maintain. Everything has to be climate controlled. And then you got the heaters, and if you have to add moisture, but you got to keep the same level. I'm going to press it. Oh, you'll see it now.
You know, all the years that we've never been back here.
On this one?
No.
No?
That's why I was like, oh, you guys are going somewhere else. I was like, I've never been here. 230 Club. Serious salespeople, man. You know what?
The wrappers will go in boxes. Wrappers get a different treatment. Yeah. Wrapper, you got to be a lot more careful. You can't break it.
Thank you for an incredible experience. Yeah, everything. The hospitality has been amazing. The people have been amazing. It was great to meet other retailers and spend time just talking shop with them, and then just seeing everything from A to Z. Amazing. So thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Hope you guys enjoy it. Sir, bienvenido.